900 subs. 900 subs. 900 squad
No,
homies.
not
900 subs.
922 now.
922. 922.
When we first started
I
talking, it
wanna
was
thank-
919.
Damn, son.
So
No,
within
we
the
picked
time
up
that we were talking,
22
we gained
followers
3
today.
subs.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
3 while we're recording, and thank you
And
all.
22 today.
Every single one of you, all 922 squad homies, every single one.
I appreciate
around the
all
world.
of y'all. Big dubs to the squad homies.
Yes, sir.
Anyway,
we're gonna do our first live when we get to 1,000.
are we?
Yep. Well,
Cool,
don't
man.
get us there too quick though, because I'm not prepared at the moment. But
I think
we
got
gonna do some shit.
Maybe a week or two, maybe.
Jeez.
Hopefully, maybe by the 1st of February. I'm thinking maybe for your birthday.
That'll be dope. That would be dope. That would be dope.
We'll see. W's and L's, the weekly recap show where we give a dub to the things that we like and an L to the things that we don't. You want to go first? Or am I going to go first?
Go. Let me get all this stuff out of the way. Give my contribution this week. Giving a dub. First one going out to Kevin Ollie. Big payday coming from University of Connecticut. They have 10 days to pay my man $11 million. 11 mil. This is off the back of a wrongful termination suit, man. UConn tried to get him out of there over, I don't even know what it was about. It was some sort of scandal. I don't know if it was like family related or marriage or I'm not sure what it was, but they tried to claim that they fired him for some sort of disciplinary problem or something like that, but just to get out of actually paying him his buyout. And so now they've been in arbitration for some time and now they're going to pay him off. It's crazy because while all this has been going on, I have completely forgotten about Kevin Ollie as a coaching option, a head coaching option. It wasn't that long ago that we were talking Kevin Ollie potentially up for the Lakers job. Like before, when Luke Walton got the job, Kevin Ollie was a leading candidate. I'm thinking that it had all of this not still been going on. Maybe he would have been a candidate along with Monty Smith and obviously Frank Vogel and Jason Kidd and all those guys last go round when the Lakers were looking for a head coach. So yeah, man. Shout out to him. Hopefully now that that's behind him, he can get back to coaching. Love to see Kevin Ollie back on the basketball floor. So
absolutely. Shout out to him. And that's a huge dub.
Absolutely. I am giving a dub out to Mike Hart. And the reason why I'm going to give a dub out to Mike Hart is not only because of his contribution that he gave to this team in 2021. I won't say revitalized the running back room, but just kind of took it to another level. The reason why I'm giving him a dub is because the only positive thing that I've seen coming out of all of this hardball, NFL watch, which again, I've said on the show, I ultimately think it'll end with him coming back to Michigan. But the one thing positive I've seen that's coming out of it is seeing where people's heads are for next head coach, right? The coordinators are obvious contenders. You have your guys like Mike McDonald and Josh Gaddis. But I like that Mike Hart's name is getting a lot of the popular votes, right? Like I heard Braylon Edwards on his radio show the other day talking about, Mike Hart telling him while he was at the University of Michigan that, or a little after, it was probably like his rookie year at the Colts. He had told him like, yeah, this NFL thing is cool. I got drafted. I'm here. This was, a goal of mine. But my next career goal was to be the first black head coach in Michigan. And like, I never knew that was his goal, but I had always felt that, you know what I'm saying? Like if I had picked one of my favorite players to come back and coach Michigan football, it's got to be Mike Hart. It has to be the leading rusher in school history, top 5 all time in the Big Ten, man, just like the quintessential Michigan man. If it's going to happen for a black guy and they can't let him out because he's a black guy, goddamn, it's going to be Mike Hart one day, I hope. So
you don't really often hear, position coaches jumping coordinators like you kind of mentioned before. And obviously, aside from my clear Michigan hate, you're right. That would be kind of cool to see, Mike Hart be the first black coach
at Michigan. Mike Hart and what he meant to that university, man, oh my goodness. It would be the immediate resuscitation to the program after losing a coach like Jim Harbaugh that program would need. It would be the immediate resurgence. I don't think they could get along with the Mike Ellison. I don't think they could get along with the Mike McDonald, just because, yeah, the staff stays intact. But is the guy driving the ship going to inspire guys to come in the way that Jim Harbaugh inspires guys to come in, right? The name Jim Harbaugh gets you in the doors. Is Mike McDonald going to get you in the doors? Is Josh Gaddis going to get you in the doors? It's not saying anything about their potential as head coaches. I want to see Josh Gaddis get a head coaching job. I want to see Mike McDonald get a head coaching job. Is that going to inspire the kind of reception that you'll need to keep building on recruiting that a Mike Hart will, wearing Michigan on his chest as the head guy? So I like that that's where a lot of people's heads are going. I would love to see Michigan have a black head coach.
He would very clearly be a player's coach, like a coach
Absolutely.
that the players would clearly look up to.
And he was the associate head coach at Indiana before he came over. So he's been an associate head coach before. I'm thinking the fact that he stayed and he didn't go entertain other jobs, that this is where he's going to stick it out until he gets his fair shake. So I don't think it'll happen this year, but, some years down the line, I think Mike Hart will be the next guy.
There's also something to be said about a black man having goals and then achieving them.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool about that.
For sure.
It's just going to be very disappointing when Ryan Day kicks his ass for 4 or 5, 6 years.
I know you're very excited about the prospect of Michigan breaking in a new head coach. It's not going to happen, fam. You're going to see Harbaugh in Columbus next year. We'll meet you at 50.
Great. Then we can kick his ass for 4 or 5, 6 years.
I don't think that kick your ass thing is going to happen again. I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong. This could have been a fluke. I just don't think that come out and, basketball and turf bullshit is going to happen anymore.
Okay.
But hey, we'll see.
We'll see.
Let's move on. We got a couple more. I did want to give a big dub to Senate candidate Gary Chambers out of Louisiana. I don't know if you saw his campaign ad this week. It did go viral. He is a big proponent of doing away with petty drug charges, petty drug crimes, dealing with marijuana. So his campaign ad was him sitting in this nice chair in the middle of the field, right? Running off American marijuana statistics, convictions, and arrests and all kind of stuff, right? As he's facing a wood.
Every 37 seconds, someone is arrested for possession of marijuana. Since 2010, state and local police have arrested an estimated 7.3 million Americans for violating marijuana laws, over half of all drug arrests. Black people are 4 times more likely to be arrested for marijuana laws than white people. States waste $3.7 billion enforcing marijuana laws every year. Most of the people police are arresting aren't dealers, but rather people with small amounts of pot, just like me. I'm Gary Chambers, and I'm running for the U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
I swear to God, I'd move to Louisiana to vote for that man. Right? Like you're giving me all of the information pertinent to the issue, right? So like, I know you're a serious person, but you're so unapologetic about your support for doing away with these archaic laws that you'll literally smoke a wood right in their face as they doing it and say, like, what? I'm going to force you to see this as the social norm that it actually is. Outside of the Washington bubble, outside of the baby boomer bubble, this is what everybody doing anyways to get along. The 6-pack of Budweiser is no longer doing it, fellas. We've graduated. It just is what it is.
That is the weird thing, is that so many different demographics engage in it, but we want to demonize specifically younger people, specifically Black people.
Young Black people,
like, come on, like, everybody fucking does it.
So shout out to him. Good luck on your race. He does have to win a primary. We know how, Democratic Party is with progressive candidates. So if we get a chance to talk about him again, I'll definitely bring him up. My last L is going out to the obvious news. Black Panther 2 has been shut down again. Lupita Nyong'o is headlining a whole slew of cast and crew who have come down with the Omicron variant, and they've had to pause productions yet again. Atlanta, man, is a hotbed for COVID right now, it seems like, and they're having troubles pushing through that. I don't foresee this being the last one. I mean, it's cold out right now. You know what I'm saying? It ain't even hot in Atlanta. So imagine when people start traveling there again. You know what it's gonna be like. I can only imagine. Again, we are headed into the what was it? It's coming out in November, so we're heading into the eight or 9 month mark. 9 month mark.
Yeah.
9 months out.
Yep.
And still not be done with the movie yet. Like, I feel like they should be going pretty close to post-production now, like fine-tuning things, adding the score, editing
Well, like
a
you said last time,
trailer.
we should be getting a trailer
soon, right? I think they will No Way Home it. I think they'll wait until the very last minute until nobody really can say or do anything about it, and then the movie's going to come out and they're just going to eat it. But it's unfortunate, man, because this honestly doesn't have anything to do with Recast. It doesn't have anything to do with Letitia Wright specifically, but just the bad luck that this movie has seemed to have since they started.
The gray cloud that seems to be over Black Panther 2 at this point.
Even if I wanted to support, I just can't. I can't, because there's nothing there right now. There's nothing connecting me back to what I felt from Black Panther 1. It's just a whole bunch of nonsense, man.
Even if you wanted to support realistically with all the news that we've been getting, it just doesn't seem like it's going to be a legitimate product at the end of all of this.
Yeah, for sure.
Which brings me to one of my L's, I guess. Gloria Randolph from Behind the Trailer Park News' new video, all about Recast T'Challa.
Yeah.
Which, come on, man. Obviously, she's a very uninformed person about this entire thing. And it really seems like she's backtracking quite a bit, because a few months ago, we heard her clearly say, don't talk about this, very clearly silencing the movement. But here we are, and now she has her own video. Did you have any thoughts about that?
There's been times that I felt bad for Grace, because I feel like she puts her foot in her mouth without fully understanding what it is that she's saying or the message that she's sending. But then when you do some shit like this, right, and you sitting up here trying to pretend that you just been down the entire time, like, okay, all right, now, no, absolutely not. It's one thing to have come around. And if she would have got out there and admitted that she previously didn't support it and came around to the idea, I would have been able to accept that. If she made a video and at least one time that you're making a full breakdown about a movement, say the name of the starter. Just say the name of the person who said it. You don't have to acknowledge him any more than that. You don't even have to bring him on, which you seem dead set on not doing, which is, hey, it's your platform. But at very bare minimum, the creator of this petition, Emmanuel Noisette, says this, that, the third, and then otherwise. You wouldn't have had to get up there and spark notes it and hit two peripheral reasons why T'Challa needs to be recast. You went immediately to Black role models and the harmfulness of creating a funeral scene for T'Challa. You didn't say anything about him being Black history. You didn't say anything about what he was actually created to be within this Marvel universe by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. She did mention that you know, Superman and Bonds and Batman get recast all the time. She did not go directly at the notion that recasting is disrespectful. She mentioned that viewpoint, but she did not debunk it in the way that the petition, very detailed, very specifically attacks that narrative. She did not give the petition its life in the way that it should have gotten. What she did was she covered her own ass. I told y'all, when I start looking at some of these videos, even from some of the bigger people, Comic Book Cast, you know, Beyond the Trailer, it's no longer a battle for recast versus non-recast. It's not. That is not what's happening now. It is recast. There is the bot accounts that, I don't know, maybe some large corporation is spreading around numerous social media platforms, but it's the bot accounts with 5 followers and a kitty photo. And then there are the people who have not read the petition, who only hold this opinion because Marvel said it was respectful to retire the character, and that's it. That's why they feel that way. They hear the petition, they hear more, they hear E-Man, they hear people talking about it on the news, they hear other celebrities talking about it, and then all of a sudden, you know what, I've come around. But it is no longer an all-out battle they no longer even have the excuse of, well, you know what, at least half the fan base will be upset with this, because we're nowhere near half the fan base arguing against Recast T'Challa. There's not as much of an anti-recast effort as there was when this started.
For sure. And how great would it have been for somebody of her stature or with her following to actually do some research and actually understand what it is that some of us are asking for, and then display that same thing to her following.
It sounds like she took a couple Twitter conversations that she had with people that are not named Emmanuel Noisette or, Back of the Bus podcast, if you ever engage, and just use that as her framing for the recast. I appreciate the shout out. I appreciate that she even talked about it, because at very least it's showing that all of that bullshit that she said before, she's at least in some way has to eat that. Right? Because I very clearly have you over here saying, stop talking about it. It's not going to happen. And now over here, I have you saying, I've been with the fans all the time. I support this effort. So, a reasonable person is going to call you a hypocrite. It just is what it is. If you're being reasonable, a fanboy's not, and they'll excuse you, and they were never going to be convinced anyways. I just have a problem with, number one, her almost refusing to acknowledge who started it, which is not a big thing because it's not about him, right? It's not his movement alone. We all have to play a role in this, but I thought it was a little dismissive, because you very clearly could cut through all of this minutia and all of this misunderstanding and go directly to the source, but you're choosing not to. So I don't understand why not, or anybody for that matter. He's not the only creator who thinks this way, right? There are even people who are probably going to be a little bit more comfortable for you to talk to, like John Campier or somebody like that, who feels this way, but you've refused to do it that way. You want to do everything within your own context so you can set the narrative. Right now, the narrative is you're a hypocrite. But if there's one thing that I could appreciate is the fact that she even talked about it and acknowledged the popular sentiment. Now, if there's one thing about Grace Randolph, she don't fight the current. She does not fight the current, right? People want a Snyder cut. She wrote that shit all the way to her subscribership that she has now. So she does not fight the current. She goes the way of popularity. And that's why I say, I think that this has gained even more traction than probably what we believe.
My issue with the video, or at least one of my issues with the video, is that a large part of the argument for Recast T'Challa is about representation at the end of the day. But it seems like she doesn't quite grasp the concept of representation fully. She kind of
just all about she just kind of reducts it down to role models for children, which if that's the only way that you can understand it, that's the only way you can understand it. But it's not that simple.
But my issue is when she brought up representation, the first thing she brought up was the fact that Tanaka Huerta, Namor,
is a strong male.
Is a strong alpha male, and it was just like,
and that's where the dissonance is, right? As long as you're a strong, positive character and you're colored somehow, then that will suffice. That's where that substitution shit comes into. And if she had done more research, she would know why her saying that is problematic if she actually supports the recast effort. But again, I'm not under the assumption that she actually does. I just think that she sees the way that the winds are blowing and she knows how to catch a breeze.
But that was my biggest thing. Like, why are you bringing up Namor first, right? Conversation about representation when we're talking about T'Challa. On to my other L's. I want to give an L to, I don't know if you've heard of this influencer, kind of a big guy, like literally physically big guy. And he goes by the name of Groovin Gorilla.
Why do they hate him? Sounds like a
because
he's soul.
Because he's a big black nigga who goes around dancing places and calls himself Groovin Gorilla. Explain.
Okay.
Explain. Right. You're going around jigging and calling yourself the Groovin Gorilla.
Okay.
Explain, sir. Explain.
It didn't sound so coonish the first time you said it.
I tried to make it not sound coonish, but it's kind of hard to explain the story without kind of giving you the context. So yeah, big singing nigga calling himself a gorilla.
So what is he, a troll?
No, he's legit. He's doing TikTok dances.
Oh, so like he's legit dancing, but the appearance of it is like he's just out here jigging for white people.
Basically,
Basically calling yourself a gorilla. Okay. He's dead ass serious, so he probably doesn't know. Okay.
You know what I mean? It's awkward. It's weird. Stop doing it, sir. Please. Anyway, I also want to give an L to the Iron Man mask. I don't know if you've seen this viral clip of this white girl who gives her boyfriend or husband a mask. It's a legitimate Iron Man mask in a response to voice prompts. So basically, when she says Jarvis mask off, it like comes off. So it's awesome, right?
That's hard as fuck. Yeah, that's hard
as fuck. But I got to give the mask an L because there's another video out there now of a girl who is wearing it with the Iron Man costume. It's cool, you know what I mean? She's got the Iron Man costume. She's got the mask, but then she does the Spider-Man wrist. Fam, if you don't know,
man.
If you don't know, man. You don't know.
Bruh, okay. So not to get too serious on her, because clearly she's just not a fan and just did the shit because it's popular, right? But there was a time, right, when this shit that all y'all like to, obsess over and have all these fan pages and the review channels and shit like that. There was a time when this shit wasn't for everybody. When it was just a few brave souls that was willing to go to the movies and wait outside in line to line up for these movies. It didn't used to be like this. It wasn't the most popular thing on the internet to do to like comic book genre things, material, content. And so like this is just an example, like, man, how far it's come from being a very niche, very deeply ingrained community to like, yeah, now Becky's giving the fucking Spider-Man fingers in an Iron Man costume. It's just like, oh my God.
You know what I mean? Like it's just it was awkward, and she's clearly clout chasing, unfortunately, but it is what it is, I guess. Final L goes to the Katy Independent School District. Apparently, a school district in Katy, Texas, which is really close to Houston, Texas, by the way, decided to ban books in the school library.
Who did? Katy, Texas?
Katy, Texas. I think it was only in one specific school.
They banned textbooks?
No. They banned specific books by a Black author.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Great.
These books, because obviously we like to talk about the whole critical race theory thing, right? So obviously these books must have said something that made all these white people mad, right? No, because these books were specifically these are books that basically anybody can relate to. Like, it doesn't matter if it's Black, white, Native American, Hispanic, whatever. But because white people feel like we're just going out and calling them racist all the time, we got to get these books the fuck up out of here.
There's another interesting part to this. So Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, right, created a bill and passed it through their local Senate, I think, where the bill basically says that if a company or a school, while teaching about racism or about any type of cultural, anything having to do with that, causes a person to feel discomfort or anxiety. So if you're telling a story and saying, hey, white people owned Black people in this country for hundreds of years, and then when they finally let them go, they cheated them out of the money that they promised them. And not only did they do that, they kept them from voting. And not only did they do that, they stopped them from getting agricultural contracts, stopped them from taking part in the great exports that America used to have, like corn and soy and lumber and steel. Kept Black people out of that. And then they also kept them from getting jobs and going to college and all kind of different shit, right? But if that causes you discomfort as a white person, you could be prosecuted in Florida. Another reason why I will never move to Florida, ever. Ever. Under no circumstances will I ever even consider moving to Florida because the people there are just absolutely batshit crazy.
Yeah.
You're prosecuting based on feelings? That's what they should do. I heard your speech on race last week, and it caused me emotional distress. And I am asking for the Florida State Troopers to come pick your ass up and arrest you for causing me emotional distress for your talks on race.
Facts.
Now.
The problem here is that, man, this is a representation issue because, I see a black kid on the cover, but now we got to get rid of that, especially near Houston, of all places. It's fucked up.
Yep, for sure.
I want to give a dub to Big Sean and Janae Aiko because apparently they're in the studio. So that gives me hope for
2288
too.
2088. Would it be 2288 because we in 22?
It should be. I
like 2288.
Yeah, no, I want that music, fam. Drop it, please. This year.
Please. Yes.
Make it happen.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I want to give a dub, which we kind of already talked about it, but I want to give a dub to all of our new subscribers and all 921 of our subscribers so far. I just want to give thanks to literally everybody. Like it's crazy to see something grow from literally nothing. You know what I mean? Because when we started this, it was literally zero. Nothing. I remember we couldn't even get out of, what was it, 67 subscribers for like the longest, and to see it kind of just grow all of a sudden, it's just crazy to see. I love it. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. Shout out to all the squad homies. Shout out to everybody in the last month that's hopped on to us. I know that has a lot to do with, the power reviews. We definitely like covering mainly, like, you know what? I was thinking the other night, like what we could do to kind of like encompass everything that we do here. And I thought about it and I was like, I guess we could just be the number one Black media content review channel. Like that's
basically what it is.
Yeah. And so like to pull in such a following based off of that feels great. That's special, man, because we started this channel wanting to speak to our community, wanting to speak to our people. So it is definitely, it's well appreciated. Love you all. Keep rocking with us. Keep working with us.
For sure. Anyway, my last thing that I actually wanted to bring up real quick is that T.I. is doing stand-up comedy, fam.
No,
and while I want to give him an L, but like, fam, if he feels like he really wants to do it, who am I to say no?
I mean, I haven't seen him do it, so I guess if he's good, but just it's never a good thing that somebody who was just claiming to be one of the best rappers of all time is now picking up another career move.
In the video I saw, people weren't laughing.
I never saw Jay-Z or Nas try to get into acting. Jay-Z, not so much.
Nobody was laughing at anything that he had to say in the clip that I saw. So maybe stop doing that. But, again, I'm not here to kill your dreams of becoming a stand-up comedian after being a famed rapper. But, it is what it is, I guess.
Hey, yeah, anything's possible. KG voice.
Follow your dreams, Tip. Do what you got to do, I guess. But that's all I got.
Give us your dubs and L's in the comments below. Would you win at this week? Would you lose at? Who you got winning and losing? Tell us below.
And make sure you check out our previous dubs and L's in the playlist below. And then make sure you subscribe. We like to do this every Wednesday, so make sure you check us out. Peace.